Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome to the channel and welcome to this sit and chat. I am sitting here in my awesome new shirt, which is super cute, by the way. And I absolutely love this thing. But today I am just chilling. I have nothing to do on this Friday. It is a Monday. I am thinking it's Friday because, yeah. Also, I have paint all over my hand. As you can tell, I've been painting quite a bit actually. And it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, the things that I've gotten painted. You can see them on my Instagram and you can see them on my Facebook page. Not my Twitter. I've been trying to keep that separate for like different styles of things because I'm trying to keep all my social media different so there's a reason to follow each and every single thingamajig. That makes sense, right? That makes sense.
Supposedly.
White is here. Hello.
Hey, yo.
White, I want you, as well as John, to grab the questions from yesterday's video, and all the comments. Like, just start reading down them when I ask, okay? There should be about 100 comments on it.
Right, pulling it up, and then I'll just go through and take notes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So. Yesterday, I released a video. And this was a kind of like more of a discussion video than anything else. I actually almost did that YouTuber thing of extending it out to 10 minutes, just ranting and rambling until like you get that 10-minute mark. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I already said my piece. This is what I wanted. Here you go. So, yeah. But yesterday I released a video about the 9th edition rumors, which aren't true. At all, in any way, shape, or form. They are not true. There is no source that I have found that has even come close to saying that they are even remotely true. In fact, I checked with every source that I could think of, all the insiders that I know, all of the freaking... Everyone gets the rumors from 4chan. Like, let's not beat around the bush. We all get them from 4chan.
Yep.
But I looked there, I looked other places, I checked Reddit, I checked everything. And I spent a good 4 or 5 hours searching for anything to do with these rumors and if they had a viable source. The answer is no. There is nothing. The closest thing that I could find is that somebody said about 7 months ago or 6 months ago that a new rulebook was coming out, and this rulebook was supposed to be a brand new rulebook. And so I checked with that, and I checked the item code, and then I actually looked at the new, smaller rulebook, and it was that number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of people... Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I know, like, when discussing the 9th edition thing, a lot of people seem to have missed out that new rulebook was released because, like, oh, they should release a new 8th edition book with all the errata and stuff, and that's what that is. It's also smaller.
Yeah, it is. It's with all the corrected paragraphs and everything. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So, I originally, like, I did that video, and I actually filmed that video 5 times. I filmed it with my camera originally before I filmed it with my webcam. And I could not get good lighting in my house. I couldn't get good lighting in my studio because it was too bright outside, but it was also snowing. By the way, it's snowing here in New York, and it's really irritating. And we have hail today, and the weather sucks. And, yeah, it's a good reason to stay inside at least. But, so I tracked down all of these 9th edition rumors, and all of them turned towards YouTubers just saying 9th edition is around the corner. There's no validity to that at all. And YouTubers need to stop saying that. Just saying.
Well, here's the thing, Alexis. In a number of years, then they'll be right. That'll show you.
Yes, they are correct. In a few years, they may be correct. But as of right now, they are incorrect. And they need to stop rumor mongering, because it's really not doing anything productive for the hobby. In fact, I would actually say it's dealing more damage to the hobby than good.
Right, because if you put the idea in, potential newcomers' heads that the edition is about to end and they're going to, sit back and wait for the new one rather than hopping in.
Exactly. And that's one of my biggest talking points of yesterday's video. I also couldn't think of what would be a big enough change to justify a new edition.
Right.
And everybody seems to think that the psychic phase is getting changed. Well, so I dug into those rumors as well. By the way, I got a sketch pad now. I've been drawing. It's weird. But I've been digging into those rumors about the psychic phase changing. I gotta move stuff because I have like a bazillion things on top of it. And when I finally tracked down those rumors, they were about these books. The Psychic Awakening, which is changing the psychic phase.
Ooh.
This is the proof of your rumors. There is no proof. So, I mean, in a few months, if they do change it, perfect. I don't think psychic phase needs to be changed. In fact, I actually like this psychic phase. As somebody who's been playing since 4th and has every rulebook, and I've read every rulebook, I can tell you that this edition is probably the most balanced. Actually, hands down, it's the most balanced. It has the best psychic phase, and it has the best vehicle rules. So,
And like even regardless, changing a relatively simple phase that doesn't herald a new edition.
yeah, and it's not something that we desperately need. Like, again, that's one of my big things is they changed how Deep Strike worked, how holding things in reserve to work, how the assault phase worked in this edition already. They changed tactical reserves already. Like, that's why when I do my beginner's guide videos, I never suggest buying the codex because it's kind of not worth it. Because you just buy the digital copy of the codex, put it on your tablet, and then create a PDF of your own with all the FAQ. Mm-hmm. It's really that simple. Or you can do it on your computer itself. And it's really quick and really easy. But for somebody like me who actually likes having the physical copies of the books, I typically use Battlescribed and just have the books as reference. It just makes things easier.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my quick little rant, my 7-minute long rant. And we have quite a few people in here, but I want to show you guys this. Check it out. Ah, hang on. I'm ripping my microphone down. Yeah. That biomass. I love it. I have my own merchandise now, so I'm super happy. So if you guys want to get this, let me see if I can find it. Okay. I gotta remember how to. I remembered how to do it. You can actually get this shirt from my Teespring, and it's actually super comfortable. Like it is ridiculously comfortable, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Also, if you guys want your questions answered immediately, just use the super chat feature. It helps out the channel quite a bit. But aside from that, I want to address all of the comments that were left on the video from yesterday. So, that's what we're going to do.
Indeed.
Also, I was really surprised that this shirt actually fit my frame. Yeah. It actually fits perfectly, and it's super comfy.
That Teespring stuff is surprisingly, quality.
I know, right? I'm actually tempted to make a curtain, because you can make bath curtains.
Yeah.
I might make one just to get a new bath curtain, because mine's starting to look a little bit
Yeah.
Just to buy my own merchandise. All right. Let's get some of those comments from yesterday.
All right.
And again, we're going to try to address all of them.
All
right. So, kind of the first question I got pulled up is, the thing that needs to be changed with the new edition is they need to consolidate all the extra rules that have come out. I need 5 to 7 books and forms to play the daggum game. It's too many. I can't keep track of.
Yes, Battlescribe does come in handy. And as I said before, if you really need to, put them all on your phone or your tablet and just take screenshots and just make the book yourself. I know tons of tournament players who actually bring a binder with them that have made their own. They've clearly bought the books. Like, these people are the ones that are buying full armies all at once. And I'm not advocating stealing their stuff. I'm suggesting that you buy the digital copy and, yeah, go from there, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Indeed. Next one.
Yep.
Counter question: does GW want more money? I guess implying that 9th edition would get them more money.
Well, you know what is selling? Psychic Awakening.
Yeah, that's the thing. Psychic Awakening is much cheaper than making full-on codexes again and paying new artists and everything. And they're just going to wait, and every year they can release all of the codexes again, and people will buy them. Like, I know I will. Like,
Yeah, like Codex Space Marines 2nd, Chaos Space Marines 2nd. It just like they're already doing it.
yeah. They already
didn't need
have
a new edition.
Space Marines 2.0. They have Chaos 2.0, Demons, and Demons 2.0. AdMech are going to get their 2.0 in just a few months. And to be honest, I don't know what army you're playing that requires more than 3 books.
Soup, probably.
Well, yeah, it's like, but if you're playing Soup, regardless of the edition, you were doing that anyway. So that's the confusing part. And you would have to be doing that regardless, because all of your rules would have been in different codexes. So if you're like playing Custodian Sisters and Imperial Guard, which is actually a really fun army, you would still need 3 books. But if you're playing Sisters of Battle and they got a Psychic Awakening, which they didn't yet, you need 2 books. If you're playing Imperial Guard, they need 2 books, and they're fine. If you're playing some of the Forge World stuff, you need 3 books. Demons, you do need quite a bit.
Yeah, like Slash Demons alone, I need like 3 or 4 books on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need like 3.
Deathwatch need 2 or 3, depending if you take an Inquisitorial Ally. But
And a magazine.
I guess I'm just not... I've done this so long that I bring a laptop bag with all my books in it whenever I go out. So I've never had a problem with it. And again, I keep all of the rules in the digital copies on my phone. So like, wow, that's actually really weird. Look at that. That's like, that's really weird, isn't it? It's like my green screen is just trying to phase it out. It's funny. All right, let's get to the next comment.
All right. People have been throwing around the 9th edition round the corner since a year after 8th came out. Baseless rumors, nothing more. And I'm getting rather tired of people keep talking about it as if it was a fact and telling people to hold off until 9th edition comes out. Outside discussing what an eventual 9th edition should have, it's disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
Fully agree. I 100% agree on that. Yes, that is 100% correct. Also, guys, if you do want to make sure that your comments are read on this stream itself, like immediately, we are going to try to get to a lot of your comments. Just use the super chat feature, donate $1. It helps out the channel so much. Anyway, let's get to the next one.
All right. I think it's important to keep in mind that a 9th edition would likely be more of a 8.5 more than anything else. Like previous editions, it wouldn't be a massive redesign of the game, but more just tidying up some of the stuff that came before and making incremental improvements. While GW should be lauded for making lots of balance changes and rolling out patches, there does come a point where it becomes impossible to keep rebalancing something because the core mechanic needs a redesign. And I think there's a lot... Oh, sorry.
They've adjusted the core mechanics. They've fixed those, too. Those are in the big FAQs. Just saying, GW has done that.
Right.
Not trying to say that you're wrong or anything, because there are some... Actually, what is the major issue wrong with this edition? Stratagems? That's it. And it's only a matter of time before they make the rule of 3 on stratagems, where you can only play 3 a turn, which I think would balance the game out.
Yeah.
Like, that way you're not just point farming and everything. That way, like, you go 5 turns, you need 15 command points. That's 1 brigade detachment, done. So it doesn't matter if your opponent maxes out and tries to get as many command points as possible. They can only ever play 15 command points in any turn. Also, people who tend to farm command points typically don't actually use all of them in the game. A brigade detachment with swarm armies is plenty. Elite armies like custodians, they're fine. I've never had a problem with them. My Sisters of Battle, I barely remember stratagems. Like, keep in mind, I go toe-to-toe with tournament players, and I barely remember my stratagems and usually beat them. And I'm going to say usually. I would say 1 in 3 times I beat them. That's usually for me. Keep that in mind. All right, let's get the next one.
Well, this one's actually has a lot more to it. Do you want me to keep reading that or move on to the next
Yeah,
one?
go ahead. Keep reading it.
All right. Mechanics need a redesign, and I think there's a lot of that happening in 8th right now. Lots of extra match play rules being added to patch over holes. The two big things, a 8.5/9th edition really needs to address our fly rules, which are just really messy and keep getting changed every FAQ, lol, and terrain and LOS line of sight rules. In fact, the severely lacking terrain/line of sight rules are where a lot of the problems with 8th really stem from.
So
with a lot of,
I'm going to cut you off right there. So I see this as a common thing amongst the comments here, and people say that terrain this edition sucks. You've never played through the invincible ruins of earlier editions. You've never played through a Ludaboy sitting up on a You've never sat through a void shield generator behind ruins. I'm sorry. You don't know what terrain, like broken terrain mechanics are. This edition, terrain is iffy. Like, personally, I think cavalry should be able to walk through terrain, same as any other thing. And I will admit some of the terrain is a little bit messy. But if you just agree with your opponent prior to the game, and a lot of the newer FAQ'd terrain is actually like this, it doesn't really affect too much of the battle. Yeah, I know, like the +1 for cover and +2 for certain things. Like, demons don't get cover saves, orks don't get cover saves because they're getting a 6+, and then you have the minuses on top of it. So orks never get a cover save and they die really quickly. But their points are adjusted to that. Demons, I still feel, are a little bit too expensive. I feel like they should go down a few points apiece, and then they would be at the current level that they need to be at. But demons also have another mechanic that doesn't affect terrain, that affects their point cost, which is the fact that they could just come into the battlefield. So there's actually a lot of things balanced around the terrain as well as the creatures themselves and deep striking. So I don't think that the terrain is too big a problem. My biggest thing is that you can't... they need to change how fighting in terrain works, where you attack anything within 2 inches of your model. And I think that would fix it. Because one of the biggest things that people have is, why can't my Imperial Knight hit somebody on the top floor? Why can't my Carnifex hit somebody on the floor above them? And it's like, well, this is supposed to be a representation of an entire hab block, which is about a mile high. So, yeah, it makes sense that somebody on the 40th floor can't be hit by an 8-foot tall creature. But I digress. Let's just move on to a different comment.
Yeah, they kind of made the point. Let's see. The only reason to bring out a new edition is if the edition becomes completely broken, like 7th was at the tail end. Right now, the edition is fine. A fine tuning here and there is acceptable.
I agree. I fully agree. 7th is a busted edition, and Horus Heresy is also busted as hell. Horus Heresy desperately needs to get out of 7th edition because 7th edition is bad. They need to adapt some of the rules from 8th edition. Now, I'm not saying that the entire mechanics and everything need to be changed, but they need to fix a few things. Like their vehicles. Their vehicles are garbage in that system. Hull points are bad. Also, I do want to thank the person for donating with Super Chat. That's awesome. Goes right over my face, apparently. Anyway. Let's move on to the next question. Next comment.
Yes. A rebalance of tanks so they are no longer made of tissue paper and lessening of invulnerable saves on everything, making it so that mass fire is always better than high AP weapons.
I don't think tanks are made out of tissue paper this edition. They're pretty tough. I actually like tanks. I think they're perfect in this edition. Like, what tanks would you be complaining about? I mean, you guys know I've run Repressor Rush since this edition came out. Rhinos are really good at toughness 7. Leman Russ's being toughness 8 is incredible. Most tanks having a high toughness is super good. I don't really see them being a problem. So I guess I don't understand. Maybe you're playing like orks and your tanks are weaker, but they're also adjusted for that exact reason. So they're cheaper.
Yeah,
So,
like in the last battle report, we had, remember, it took, 3 dreadnoughts and 100 kilometers to take down one of those repressors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, next comment. And we are going to get to the comments in here as well. I promise you, we're mostly going to focus on the ones that are from Super Chat, so if you guys want to use that, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Let's see. Psychic phase. 1,007 players. Favorite, please. Or favorite phase.
Yeah. Tyranid's favorite phase. Anything that Mass Psyker's favorite phase. Grey Knight's favorite phase. But again, their armies are balanced around that. Typically, Thousand Suns aren't good in close combat, so one of their major weaknesses is that you can close the gap on them and eliminate them pretty quickly. They also lack long-range combat. Tyranids, they are excelled at mid-range and short-range, but they also suffer from no long-range. Now, I say no long-range, they actually do have some long-range with the biovores and things of that nature, but typically, if they're doing a psychic list, they don't have that. Yeah.
That is a fair point. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Short answer, no. Long answer, no, with a lot of O's.
Hey, wait, that's from the 40k Orks, right?
It is from the 40k Orks.
Yeah, he has got a good YouTube channel.
Well, there you go.
I agree with him.
The only thing that needs revamping is the 8th. In 8th is the terrain/cover rules, in his opinion.
Which we already addressed. Now, I do think that Ruins should give better cover saves, and I do think that there should be an additional few stratagems per army, and one of them is just get down. Like, you get a +1 to your cover save, but it can't ever be better than a 3+. That way it's not broken, but it's also just fairly good, and you have to be in terrain piece for it to work. That way orcs get a 4-up save while they're in Ruins. Because it goes to a 5-up, then a 4-up, and then it gets the modifiers on top of it. So if your opponent's shooting you with an AP2 weapon, you're at a 6-up again, and it's still fine at that point. Okay, next one.
I'm on the fence on if this would justify a new edition, but I have mixed feelings about lasguns being able to wound Titans 17% of the time, not counting saves, of course. But I usually don't complain about them because I don't have a solution in mind.
So back when I originally started playing this game, lasguns couldn't hurt toughness 8 creatures, and Nidzilla was running rampant. Every weapon needs to be able to wound everything in this game for it to balance this game out perfectly. So even the lowliest of guardsmen can hit a special part on the Titan itself, superheat it and destroy it, or the Titan itself had some damage on it prior to the battle and you shot that and damaged it. Also, you got to remember a lasgun is extremely powerful. Also, we just got a subscriber. I really got to move this so it's off my face. Let's move it over here. Boop. There we go. Okay. But yeah. Next one.
Character targeting, especially vehicle characters like Chaplain Dreads.
Yeah, character targeting is a little bit funky, and I do admit that. Again, I don't really see it too much as a problem. The Chaplain Dreadnought is going the way of Legends very soon, so I don't really think it's going to be a problem in the future. One of the biggest problems that people had with this edition was Celestine. She was a unit of characters, which made it even harder. Because you could just put one girl behind something and it counted as the unit being behind because of wording. But overall, I don't think it's really that big of a problem. But the Chaplain Dreadnought, I do see a lot of points about. Most armies do have an answer to this via deep strike, via targeting it in melee, or getting it from long range with sniper units. But I do see the problem with that. And truth be told, the Chaplain Dreadnought is super powerful. It is stupid powerful. So I think they should just up the wounds of it. Just up it to 10, and it's fine. And you wouldn't have that problem. But I think the character targeting rules make a lot of sense, because imagine if that Dreadnought had the independent character rule of last edition and joined a squad. Especially if that squad had a 2-up invulnerable save. Have fun! And before you say that that's an impossibility, 7th edition was a wild land. And somehow 6th edition was worse. All right. Let's move on to the next.
There isn't much that needs changing at the moment.
Say what?
They say can't say that there isn't much that needs changing at the moment. I guess that's their way of saying they're satisfied with 8th edition.
That's fair. All right, next one.
As Grandpappy used to say, if you can't prove it, be quiet.
Agreed. Next one.
I agree. I'm aware of a lot of hypotheticals in the comments I'm about to make. Assuming the teaser they dropped today is the Silent King return, as it appears to be, which I'm assuming can't be for Pariah, because why would they be revealing him separately? Then it does feel like they're about to launch something as part of something major. And if not 9th edition or Pariah, what else would it logically be linked?
It could just be released to it could just be a character release. They do these every now and then. And the Necrons desperately need anything that they can get. Their army is garbage. As it stands right now, Necrons are one of the worst armies in the game. So getting multiple characters isn't out of the question. We saw it with the Eldar getting Jinzar and the Howling Banshees, as well as Drazar and the Kabalites. I think those were Kabalites. Were they Trueborn or Kabalites? I can never remember. But they got four new units. Gosgol is brand new. We got another brand new unit with the release of Wolfman Yifson. Then we have the Psychic Awakening for the newest one, Pariah, might actually include both of those characters in a box set. It might be one of those characters in a box set and one sold separately, which would be really cool. Personally, I wish that they would do more with the Inquisition and maybe do Inquisition versus the Necrons. That would be my guess. But a new addition for one character? No. Sorry. No. Not even Gilliman was worth his own edition. I'm sorry, he wasn't. They had to blow up Cadia for that.
That is true. All right, next one.
Okay.
I would like to see alternating activations in the shooting and fight phase and the end of battle round application of damage.
See, that works in small scale games. It works really, really, really well in small scale games. The second you size it up to a 40k style game, a 2,000 point game with more than 5 units, it gets really, really, really difficult to balance. Because I activate this. Well, I'm going to activate this over here. Well, I'm going to activate this. Hang on, I'm going to activate this. And if you need a proof of concept of this, look at how long it takes Genestealer Cult to deploy. You have to turn on a turn marker before the game begins for a Genestealer Cult player to deploy everything in less than 40 minutes. So if you're going back and forth, that's over an hour per shooting phase, per combat phase. And this game is already long enough. They've streamlined this game enough that I think it's perfect right now. All right?
All right. I've said this elsewhere before, but I'll say again here. From a business, marketing, and sales standpoint, there is no logical reason for GW to release a new edition until a minimum of 3 to 6 months after the release of the final product for the current edition.
Thank you.
And this is
That's absolutely correct. See, I come at this from a business perspective. If you guys don't know, I have a bachelor's degree in business. I manage a store, and I look at things like sales versus how they affect the lore versus how they affect the tabletop. Lore in 40k is not as important as sales, and I can tell you that right now. It is nowhere near as important as sales. The game is more important than the lore itself. The lore is a background for this stuff. It's to hype up the stuff so that you buy it. And it works pretty well, and some of it has really good stories. Some of the writers are trash, but some of the writers are ridiculously good and super talented. I'm not going to name names here, but one of them is ADB. He is super talented and amazing, and created Black Legion, which took Abaddon and made him one of the most badass characters in the entire setting. But nobody reads the lore, they just recycle stupid memes. So there's that. Anyway, it doesn't make sense for them to launch a new edition right now. Especially during a crisis. Are you serious? You think they're going to launch a new edition during COVID? Nope. Not at all. Nope. They're going to wait about 2 years for the stock to drop, and then they'll just release a new Primark and be like, hey, look, our stock prices went right back up. Thinking like a businesswoman. Next question. Or next comment.
Honestly, my only qualm with this edition is swingy weapons. I would love if we could move a lot of the D6s over to 2D3s. Anti-tank Doom weapons should never do last gun level damage after wounding, but I think that's a small nitpick, and it's probably based off my shell shock from 6 and 7 lol. Everything is so random because it's a casual dice game style rules.
Yeah. No, I do feel that but the D6 system is balanced around your rerolls. That's the reason. Because if we actually just set them as per damage or 2d3, you're already dealing double the amount of damage that you're estimated to deal if you break down the math hammer of it. So you have a lot of things like the rerolls from your lieutenants, the rerolls from your captains, the actual weapon hitting and what its ballistic skill is, the target that you're hitting. There's a lot of math that goes right into just that alone. And for the weapon to deal 6 damage, it actually averages out per weapon across the entire board. Typically, Space Marine players deal 130 damage per turn. And then that's not factoring in saves. So if you up the damage of that, I think Sisters actually deal 140, which is actually incredible. This isn't counting in tactics just yet, or army-wide abilities, because Iron Hands were super busted. But we're not going to count that in. But it's a finite balance system. Like, you can have a las cannon blow a gigantic hole in something and absolutely kill it 6 times over. Or that las cannon could just graze it, and that's what it's supposed to represent with the 1 damage. Is it hit the thing, it hurt the thing, but it didn't kill the thing. So keep that in mind. And it's all based around the math of the game. Next comment?
Let's see. Nah, I'll revere Rogue Trader always. Yeah, it's nostalgia in part, even so I really do miss it. That said, yes, 8th edition is very good. I'd say the best of the more recent editions. I don't think a 9th is necessary. As for what needs fixing, I rarely get to actually play much, so I don't think I know enough about it to comment.
I really, really like this comment because the guy addresses his bias, which a lot of people don't do. They don't address their bias. And then on top of that, he couldn't make a reference to anything changing because he didn't know the system well enough. And a lot of people who are suggesting changes are not the people who are playing at the top level of the game. And it's really, the top level of the game balances out the rest of the game for everybody else. And I know that that is really hard to understand for some people, because some people get really, really, really butthurt when they hear that you're not a top player, so you don't really know your army too well. And it's 100% true. If you don't play your army extremely well, like at tournament level, you don't know your army well enough or its interactions with other armies that are super like powerful to know what actually needs balance. What you probably do is you play against your friends in a casual tournament or an open play game or a matched play game, and then your opponent brings something that they read online that is really powerful, and you're just like, wow, that needs to be nerfed. And you just need to adjust your tactics to beat it. It doesn't need a nerf, except at the top level. What you need to do is get good. Like, it boils down to that. I'm sorry. I have had to learn this lesson a very, 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 very hard way. The person who taught me how to play 40k literally beat my head in with his army every single time I played him. Next comment. So many people are going to be pissed about that I just told them that they're not that good at the game. Get good. That's what that comment boiled down to. Okay.
Fair enough. While I don't see a huge need for a whole new edition, something like an 8.5 that combines all the most recent rules and erratas into one new book would be fine by me.
It exists. It exists. You could take the FAQ and put it with the pamphlet, and that's all you need. Or you could buy the new rulebook. Or you could just get the digital copy of the rulebook. Do the digital copies actually update themselves? I forget if they do.
I think.
If not, you can, again, just copy, paste, put it into your book, change it yourself, and have a fully updated version of the rulebook. But in truth... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the digital ones do update. Like, I had the digital version of the old Chaos Space Marine Codex, and when the new one came out, it just automatically changed to that one.
Oh, well, there you go. Buy digital and you're fine. Stop stealing the books. If you get the digital copies, they auto-update. All right, let's get the next comment.
Fair enough. I started playing just before the pandemic, and I'm not a Space Marine guy, so I'm fine with 8th edition for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, next comment.
I personally would like to see them put an 8th edition revision where all the patches are streamlined into one rulebook.
Why does everybody want just buy the rulebook? Buy the digital rulebook. You have it. Just buy the digital rulebook off of GW and you get all of that. Like, I don't get the problem. Like, maybe you want a physical copy of the rulebook, but rules change over time. That's a natural thing. Like, even D&D books get FAQ'd and updated. Okay, next one.
Let's see. Nah, what we need is a reissue of Rogue Trader and a bunch of, like, emotes.
I agree. I actually would like if they brought back as a product Rogue Trader, like as a board game. I would love it. I'd buy it. All right, next one.
I would love to see if the rules would go online. No more additions. No more, this changed in this book. Just do rules. If Grey Knights need a change, they get a tap. If the tap is too big, then it changes a few weeks later.
Yeah, just buy the digital books. They do that. Done. All right, next one.
Honestly, I think 8th is just fine. Maybe some bouncing here and there. Psychic Phase is easy to do right now. I'm totally fine with it. 1,000 cents.
There we go. Perfect. Next question? Or next comment?
Yes, and just reprint the 7th edition in a new cover.
Oh, no. 7th edition was garbage. We're not even going to talk about how bad 7th edition was. 7th edition nearly took me out of the game. Like,
Tyranid Uprising.
Keep in mind, I was winning tournaments in 7th edition. I hated 7th edition. 6th edition was awful too. 5th edition was good because of my nostalgia, but the actual book itself was not balanced. 4th edition wasn't balanced. 8th edition is the most balanced system there is. All right, let's get the next one.
I think they should limit the amount of stratagems you can use per phase.
Agreed. Fully agree. I think it should be per turn. Okay? And hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. If they limited it to 3 per turn, not per phase, not 1 per phase of the same name, but just 3 per turn, think of how radically different this game would be. No longer would you have like things busting out with like multiple rerolls every single phase. You would have it once, and you would have to sit there and think about when you wanted that reroll or not. When you wanted to do your crazy shenanigans, because you know that that's the only time you can actually do that. So I think it's really cool. Well, White, do you want to get that super chat for me?
Hold on a second, eating.
How dare you?
Okay. As someone who's new to tabletop in general and easing into 8th at a snail's pace, I hope they stick with 8th for a little while longer.
Fully agreed. Because could you imagine if they changed? Like, I remember back when I was going to get into fantasy. Me and my buddies were going to get into it. He bought the Lizardman Codex, and then the next day it updated to a brand new edition. Like, it wasn't actually the next day. It was like a week later, but still, it sounds funnier when you say the next day.
Oh, yeah. He bought in like at the very tail end of the end times. Oh, yep. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, he did. It sucked so much. But I never actually... Like, I play Age of Sigmar here and there. I think I played it a grand total of 4 times. That's it. Alright, let's get the next comment.
I think that there's some things they can do to improve the game state, but I don't really think a 9th is necessary.
Agreed. Next one?
With another depression starting, a 9th edition wouldn't be wise. I don't think many will be able to afford any new book.
I fully agree. The boomers of the 40k community might actually either be gone, or they might be in crippling debt, just like the rest of them are. They could be a millennial. They could know what it feels like for 10 minutes.
Yikes.
Yikes for me, dog. No, that's strictly joking. Don't take that out of context. I know somebody's going to argue with me because I know every time I make a joke, somebody thinks I'm being completely serious and fights me on it. And I'm just like, you dumb. Stop being dumb. You know you're dumb. And this is why you're dumb. Anyway, next one.
I would like to see a change to overhaul the move and fire phases so that one side doesn't get to do everything first in his turn, similar to bolt action.
The problem again relies in the fact that the game is so big. You can do it in bolt action, I guess, but again, if you were to go back and forth, it would just take way too long for a tournament level game. Like, Games Workshop built a tournament level game. Every single massive tournament level game does the exact same thing. Sorry. Next one?
Yeah. What? I'd like to see the return of universal labels for special rules, e.g. Feel No Pain.
Oh my god, yes. I'm going to cut you off because I pretty much know the rest of that comment, and I fully agree with this one. I want Feel No Pain back. I want Deep Strike back. I agree completely with that.
Like, how everything has, like, keywords and such now, it's surprising that that's an issue we run into.
Right? Deep Strike, Outflank. Yeah, I still say Deep Strike for units coming in from reserve. It's summoning. No, that's Deep Strike. It's I'm coming in via drop pod descent. No, that's Deep Strike. Just saying. My Elysians are jumping out of their aircraft. No, they're deep striking. My Tyranids get to ignore damage because of Catalyst. No, that's Feel No Pain. My banner gives my Sanguinary Guard the ability to ignore damage. Yeah, Feel No Pain. See? It's easy. But anyway, next one.
There wasn't a big enough reason to go from 6th to 7th.
Yeah, there was. 6th edition was incredibly unbalanced and broken, and they made character bombs were the big thing of 6th edition. Like, I played Star Phantoms or Grav Cannons in 6th with a let's see if I can actually remember this. It was a White Scars biker. No. Not a White Scar. It was a Iron Hand biker with the Gorgon chain, Thunderhammer, bike, digi-weapons, and something else in a squad with Celestine, Thunderwolf Cavalry, Obviously allies, 3 of which had storm shields, and he gave Feel No Pain to every single one of them. It was the most busted thing ever. Oh yeah, also my entire army, since it was a Star Phantom successor, but in that edition you could actually just take things, and it was stupid. You could just take the tactics and then use the massive, because you can call your made chapter an actual existing chapter, and they never FAQ'd the keywords. You could actually take characters and put them with other army. It was stupid, by the way. I had tons of grav cannons everywhere, so I would just clear opponents out in one turn. Yeah, 6th edition was busted. 7th edition was arguably worse because of all the free transports, free stuff, Taudar. It was dumb. That edition, 6th and 7th edition, were garbage. Next question? Or next comment?
What justifies a 9th edition is GW cash grabbing. I no longer play GW games as their prices are almost as fantasy as their games are.
I don't agree. And okay, this is going to be another hard truth for people out there. This is a hobby game. Hobbies are expensive. Try collecting boats, guns, paintings. Like, a model for $100 is cheap by comparison. I know that is very hard to hear, but as a hobby game, $40K is relatively cheap. In fact, I would argue and say it's cheaper than Magic the Gathering or any TCG game that has a standard rotating format, and it's more enjoyable. You get more out of the models than you do cards. So, I don't know. I've never seen the prices as too big a problem. Next one?
Let's see. Please revert the S versus T table.
Strength versus toughness table. No, absolutely not. I'm so glad they got rid of that. You guys missed the 2-hit table, where you took a 7 and minused your ballistic skill from it to figure out what you actually needed to roll on a die to hit something, instead of just saying a 3+. Yeah. That was a nightmare. Alright, let's get the next one.
Let's be honest, the power creep and rules bloat is slowly getting out of hand, and as much as 8th edition is fun, it also has a plethora of issues with core rules that can't really be fixed. GW needs to design a solid framework that defines the vocabulary and rules interactions, and then write core rules into that framework, kind of like Wizards did it with MTG.
Okay. Comment's just wrong. They didn't give any examples. They just said it was broken, with little to no example of that. They say power creep, but I can tell you the Space Wolves are balanced. I can tell you Dark Angels are balanced. Space Marines now are balanced. They're still powerful, but they're a balanced powerful. Like, they'll be strong in your locals, but they won't be strong too much in the bigger metas. Especially now that they took away the ability to constantly do the Devastator Doctrine. So they're actually balancing all of this stuff. So I want to just say you're wrong. Yeah. I'm just going to say you're wrong. Sorry.
Fair enough. I would like to see them fold close combat back into the game a bit more.
Is it out of the game? Slanesh has no problem with combat. Blood Angels have...
is getting there.
Yeah, but that's always been that army's problem.
Yeah.
I mean, turn 1, they usually get into combat.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot better than they did in last edition and the edition before that. Although I do like their 5th edition rules, where they came in waves. That was fun. Anyway, next comment.
Well, can I just quickly add something? So, I noticed that some people in the chat are repeating questions that they've asked. We are gathering them, and they're going to be answered later.
Yeah, we're addressing a different video really quickly. So, you are going to have your questions answered. If you want them answered right this second, please use the super chat feature. Okay, and let's get the next one.
I do not believe we will see a new edition exactly. I think we will get a new starter box box, Necron versus Primaris or Chaos Space Marines, with an updated, including the errata core rulebook included with it. I think the methods of play, match play, etc., will be expanded to include more varieties using feedback from chapter approved and events like ITC.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's exactly what they're doing right now. I could not agree more with that. Also, one thing that I do want to point out, it is possible that if the Silent King is coming back, he might just be a story model, or they might bring him back as the new Primarch of the Necrons. Like how I've said this a while ago, I said this a long time ago, that each chapter, each army is going to have their own Primarch level character. Like a Gazgul for the orks, the Swarmlord for the tyranids. We have Gilliman for the Imperials. We have St. Celestine for the sisters. We're going to have the Silent King or whatever Spider Boy's name is as their Primarch equivalent. So I'm expecting them to do something similar with each of the armies in the game. In fact, we actually do have Yvraine for the Eldar. So there you go. And Shadow Sun for the Tau. She has the similar rules where they can be taken with anything. Alrighty, next one.
These next three questions kind of all ask the same question, so it kind of gets summed up with the first one. Does alternate activations hurt or help melee armies?
It actually helps most melee armies because they get to act first. Slaanesh, for instance, it super benefits because they always get to act first. So your opponent gets to hit with one thing back, and then Slaanesh gets to hit, which is terrific for them. Certain Slaanesh lists are absolutely terrifying when it comes to that, because you have like 4 Keepers of Secrets in one list, because you have Stalaxi and the 3 Keepers. But I think it's fine. I don't like Initiative. Initiative was stupid. Also, I didn't like challenges. I thought those were stupid too. All right, go ahead. Next one.
I really do not appreciate the constant rumor mongering and stating things as fact with no proof.
I fully agree. That's why whenever I say something on my channel, I'll usually tell you whether or not it is from my perspective. I think it's pretty obvious when it's from my perspective, versus when I'm actually telling you where it's really from, because I will show you the pictures. We did also get a super chat, and I want to thank everybody that's using the super chat feature. You guys are helping us out so much, especially now because I am unemployed and unable to get unemployment due to being a YouTuber. Because technically I'm employed and I only get paid once a month. So yeah, it has been quite the struggle. But let's go ahead and read that.
All right. What advice would you give to someone looking to move from the fluff to the tabletop, starting with Imperial Guard?
Oh, the Guard. The Guard are a lot of fun. I did make a beginner's guide video to the Imperial Guard. It essentially boils down to buy start collecting, and then just buy 3 of those start collectings, and you're fine. You have an actual sizable army that's really good. Yeah. And then just, if you don't want that, there's Victoria Miniatures, which makes excellent models that are Imperial Guard sizes. There's Forge World that makes some Imperial Guardsmen. I personally like the Steel Legion. I think they look really cool. I really like the Chem Dogs. I like my Illuminary Guard, my custom guard regiment. But if you're looking to begin it, I have a series on that. And if you want more in-depth, please contact me in my Discord or on Twitter or Facebook, and I can give you more help with it, especially when it comes to list building and things of that nature. And then we got another super chat, which is super awesome. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome.
Let's see. The MTG question was in reference as to what dictionary is being used when trying to understand how rules are written.
Yeah, don't compare 40k to Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is only balanced barely. I would argue that Magic the Gathering is not a balanced game. But and how rules are written, they have too many keywords in my opinion. for Magic the Gathering, and the keywords are literally all over the place. And sometimes they have really good keywords, and then they explain them, which defeats the purpose of the keyword. And then sometimes the card just has like 40 keywords on it, and you're just like, what the hell does this actually do? Also, interesting side note, did you know Trample is optional damage? It's a May ability. Anyway, go ahead, John, with the next comment.
I think they need to move the story more and maybe like more Primarchs returning.
Why does everybody want more Primarchs?
Well, simple. They're ignoring the Primarchs already there because they just want their Primarch.
Yeah, but we know the next one to come back is going to be Lionel Johnson. Like, I would rather have more evil Primarchs. I would rather have Angron and Fulgrim come back. Because that's way better.
Like, they've been hyping up Emperor's Children in the Echoes of Awakening stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have a super chat, yeah. Which company should I paint my Ultramarines as?
Okay. You could do M40. Yeah, M40 second company. No. Yeah, second company Space Marine. Second company Ultramarines with Captain Titus. Or you could do fourth company, because I really like the green. I think that looks really cool. Or you could do fifth company and get the red, which I also like. But it's up to you. It's up to you. I don't like Kento Sicarius, but I do like Captain Titus. And Captain Titus is the canonical captain before Kato. And there is actual proof of this, by the way.
And also, if you want to, try and emulate Titus on the tabletop, the Ultramarines have a relic it's a better Iron Halo that lets you deny psychic powers.
Yeah, considering that he was, a heretic.
Yeah.
He was blessed by Khorne. I do like that that's the continuous theme in the 40k games, is like, the main character is blessed by Khorne. That's why they can resist psychic powers. It's like, wait, that was the story to Fire Warrior. That was the story to Dawn of War. That was the story to Ultramarines. So why does Khorne keep liking like the main character?
Simple. A lot of people are getting into 40k the first time through these games, and even if you haven't heard of 40k, you probably heard Blood for the Blood God.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the next comment.
Oh, we just got a super chat. Demon Primarch Perturabo when, and it's from... Hey, damn it.
Demon Primarch Perturabo.
They have mentioned him. He got beat up by Mortarion.
Why is it that So anytime like one of the Primarchs does something super cool in the lore, it's like, oh yeah, and also Mortarion did that.
Because like any fight the Mortarion does in the Damn Death Guard Codex is they were fighting, the other person got tired and left.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I would like to see like a King Obliterator that is Perturabo.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I would like him the size of like a Decimator. If you don't know what a Decimator is, too bad I'm not explaining it. But about the size of a Decimator, with like two cannons on his back, like kind of like Blastoise, kind of like from Pokemon. But like all the hands of the Obliterator, like full Obliterator virus, just messing with him. Yes.
Yeah, because like they've been hyping up Iron Warriors a lot. Like, they were at Cadia, they were on Vigilus, they had the giant space squid in Faith and Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I like the space squid.
All right, let's get the next comment.
Let's see. Bring back blast templates. Bring back armor facings.
No.
And weapon facing.
No. No to all three. Those were stupid and unnecessary. The vehicle on the tabletop by itself is supposed to represent a tactical map of where the vehicle might be in that general location. The vehicle isn't guaranteed to be in that facing. The vehicle is meant to be, it is in this area. Because ruins are supposed to represent entire hive blocks versus an entire, just one building. Ugh. I'm sorry. Like an infantry squad is supposed to represent multiple infantry squads.
Also, we got a super chat. Let's see. Favorite Warhammer YouTube channels? ?
Okay, so I could say the most egotistical thing that I could ever think of and say it's me. But I kind of have like a top three. the ones that I always watch is depending who's on it, obviously, it is Mini Wargaming, Winter's SEO, and Glacial Geek for battle reports. But I'm splitting them up into categories because this is what world we live in now, where I could just do this. My favorite talky ones is definitely Miranda, Wargamer Girl, because she is amazing. I absolutely love her. The Wargaming couple, amazing, and I absolutely love them. They're super nice people in person. And let's see, I like Scary. Scary's pretty cool. I don't watch Remlaze's stuff. I like Remlaze as a person. I'm friends with him. But I read a lot of books, so anytime he makes a theory video, I'm just like, I already read that. Yeah. There are some channels that I can't stand. I think you guys know which one. You can name the one that I can't stand. But yeah, those are my top 5 in no particular order favorite YouTubers of Warhammer 40k.
And we got another super chat again in regards to Perturabo. I was thinking knight-sized, LOL, Morty size.
Maybe actually.
That'd be crazy.
Well, because all of the Demon Primarchs in Epic were the same size.
Right.
And their Forge World equivalents, which they changed it to Angrath the Unbound, but originally his code name was Angron. He was one of them that's about the size of the current models of Mortarion and Magnus. So it could be something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's go ahead and get to the next comment.
The 5th edition is the best in my opinion. It is fun and loose and quick to play, but I also like the psychic phase and shooting phase are the same phase. You either make a psychic attack or a shooting attack with your psychic.
In 5th edition, it was also really confusing things because there was psychic powers that activated in the movement phase. I found some of it to be a little bit confusing. 5th edition is good. It was a fun edition to play through, but I broke it with orcs. I broke it with guard, and yeah, it got super bad, especially once the Grey Knights showed up.
Like in regards to 5th versus 8th, just older editions versus 8th. One thing I really like in 8th more is because I have the 5th edition rulebook, and they have all the special rules for weapons in the core rulebook, melt, death, thunderhammers, etc. Rather than in 8th, where it's just on the profile of the gun on the data sheet.
Yep.
So you don't have to keep flipping through.
Yeah. All right, next one.
It doesn't really seem to be cause for GW to put out a new edition yet. 8th has been incredibly successful, and any big issues get patched out before long. Agreed. GW has been able to re-release codexes and the core rulebook, and there is Psychic Awakening updating all the armies. More than likely, we will get more updates in this manner in the future. You got a game that isn't broken, and it's raking in money, pure and simple.
Agreed.
That's my comment.
Hey, that is White's comment. All right, let's get to the next one.
I think this is my favorite comment.
Genius. Just stop the stream. We can't add anymore.
Okay, I'm good. All right, how many more comments after that?
We're about 70.
You know what? I think we addressed pretty much all of the ones that are...
There's one more. I feel it needs to be read.
Okay.
9th edition, Return of the Squats. Oh yeah, Zotes on boats, no step on snake. And there's a snake with a top hat.
I agree to the snake.
I agree with that. No step on snack.
Well, I'm gonna find that comment and say no you.
Anyway, so let's address some of the questions that were in here. Let's address some.
We got a lot of them.
Yeah, I noticed we were flying through.
Yeah, I put them all in Notepad.
All right. White, so you're up with this one.
Alrighty, so first is from Chuck Kelly. So I am burned out on painting. What do you do to get motivated to paint?
I buy a new model. I'm not gonna lie, I am like the worst to ask that kind of question to, because I was burnt out on painting Sisters of Battle. I have a video coming out soon about my army and what I want to do with it, and it's an update video. But I wanted to finish a squad of Battle Sisters prior to making that video. They have been sitting on my table for about a month and a half.
I do understand, everyone. We have to yell at this woman to eat.
Yeah, keep that in mind. I don't remember to eat. But I recently got into my collection 2 big demons that I really liked, which were from Creature Caster. And I bought these because I wanted to paint them. So when I bought them and got them and scrubbed them all off, because they're resin models, you have to scrub them, I was super excited about this. I was like, yes, please, thank you. This is what I want. And then I started painting it while watching dumb YouTubers. I was actually watching the Overwatch League while painting. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. This is from Zachariel. I'm going to mispronounce all the names, by the way. With so many adjustings, can you only be up to date in your rule set if you go electronic?
No.
Basically.
No, you can print out the FAQs. You can put them into your rule book. I have a mini rule book that has all the FAQs just stuffed into it, right. In case I need to reference them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. This one is from Zypher Skunkworks. They ask, are you ever going to set Zypher free?
No. Short and simple is a no.
Let's see, from Retrospectus. Remember when there were special rules that only referenced other special rules?
Oh my god. Slow and purposeful. What did it do? Give relentless. What is relentless? Check the core rulebook. I hated that so much.
Right, this is from Yuvon. I'm starting a full Primaris Ultramarines company consisting of lots of intercessors and couple tanks and dreads with a converted Primaris Cato Sicarius as warlord. Any tips for this?
No, you're doing just fine.
Yeah, like
if you wanna make it a tournament level list or powerful list, just get 3 impulsors. Get 3 of the extra thingamajigs. They're a big tank, the Primaris tank.
Executioners.
Yeah. Somebody is messaging me during the stream. Don't do that, please.
Better yell at them. Okay. So, Logan Kenoris, however you say it, asked NornQueenAlexis, do you pray to the Omnisaya?
Ave Deus Imperator, Ave Deus Mechanicus. All hail the machine god.
Let's see. Next one. I'm not going to try pronouncing the name. Question. I am planning to get Steel Legion for Imperial Guard. What is recommended to get Steel Legion from?
Well, like, what do you mean? Like, a way where to get them? Forge World. Oh, wait. No, they're discontinued.
Yeah, they're not around right now. So I think they might...
You can get them from Victoria Miniatures.
Yeah, they have.
They have Steel Legion, and they have what's the dumb French ones that dig holes?
Death Corps.
Death Corps of Krieg. Yeah. The French Germans.
I think they also have chem dogs on there.
They do have chem dogs, and they also have mutants. You could do an entire mutant regiment. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and Last Chancers.
Mm-hmm. Victoria Miniatures is awesome, by the way. I'm not sponsored by them. I just think they're really nice, and Victoria herself is, well, pretty nice to me. Last time I met her at Adepticon, she was an absolute sweetheart. I gave her a hug.
Ha. All right, let's see. The Black Bladder asks, can Imperial Faith be corrupted by Genestealer cults? Example,
yes.
When Hive Mind invades, the Saint has the look of a hybrid is on the side of the Nids.
So, a living Saint, probably not, since they can detect heresy, like, really quickly. But a Saint, a normal Saint, yeah, they could probably corrupt them. In fact, there's probably Magos that lead Imperial cults and then eventually turn it over to the Four-Armed Emperor. In fact, the cult of the Four-Armed Emperor worships the Emperor out in broad daylight, and they do trick people into joining them. Now, can they trick like a sisterhood? Probably not.
I see one problem with corrupting a normal saint, though, Alexis.
What?
Isn't the whole point of being a normal saint is that you're dead?
No.
Is it different in 40k?
Yes. So in the book, hang on, I got an example of this right now.
Yeah.
Boo. I just need to find it because I just listened to this and it was pretty okay. It wasn't great, but it was definitely okay. Wait, is it really just called Broken Saint? It's literally just called Broken Saint. In the book Broken Saint, she is a saint. She's not a living saint, and she is alive.
I'll be damned.
Also, Sola Macarius was also deemed a saint before he died.
Neat. Alright, let's see. Gildy asks, after Psychic Awakening, wouldn't it be time to get all codexes and rulebooks to be updated and re-released with all of the changes?
Yes. Now you're thinking with portals.
Alright.
That's an old reference. God, I'm old. Anyway.
That's a complicated name. Alexis, who do you believe is more zealous, the Black Templars or the Sisters of Battle?
Considering that the Black Templar have a long-standing peace treaty with the Eldar, the Sisters of Battle.
And, yeah, 3 words, acts of faith.
Yeah.
Alright. Chicken Chaser asks, what Chaos Legion do you think will be overhauled next, and what would you like to see in said Legion?
I will admit I don't know enough about the Chaos Legion's rule set right now. They haven't been one that I've specifically studied just yet, so I can't properly answer that question without just doing guessing, and I don't like guessing.
Right.
But if I had to pick one to be overhauled and get their own codex, that would be Emperor's Children.
Yee. Alright, here's an easy question. Would you support another Dark Heresy edition?
Yes, I would. Absolutely. Especially if they fix things like the Desperado and Feudal Worlds.
Screams in feudalism. Alright.
Oh my God.
So, let's see. Alexis, what do you think of the new Harlequin rules?
I saw them. They don't look too bad. Harlequins are already a tough army. As somebody who constantly got hit by the 36-inch, plus you take field, which means you have a 48-inch jet bike movement, and you get to fire 5 meltaguns outside of said jet bike. As somebody who had to be on the receiving end of that multiple times, yeah, I could tell you that it's pretty bad. And now they got better. So yeah, they're good. Do I think that they're gonna break the game? No. They're still too squishy to break the game. It's kind of like Sisters, where basic weapons wound them on a 3. Las guns wound them on a 4, so it still balances out to being okay. And truth be told, a combat character can kill a fully decked out solitaire if they charge. So it's really just a balancing act of who goes first, and who blinks first loses. So I think it's perfectly balanced. But that being said, I don't know their tactics too well, so I could be wrong, and it might need an FAQ. We will have to see how it's played out by more experienced players than myself.
Alright, let's see. Here's one from Will. Question, would bringing back random deep strike make people happy, or did it break people's spirits?
Okay, so there is one thing that I wish that they would do. When you deep strike, you had a stratagem that just says you deep strike D3 inches closer. That's it. I wish that was a stratagem. I wish that was just a thing for drop pods. We also just got a super chat.
Yeah, super chat. Is there any info on Rebuke Gilliman and his relationship with the Lectitio Divinatus? I remember he started reading it, but what happened after?
So in the book Dark Imperium, he does read it. The Lectitio Divinitatis. He realizes that it's his brother's work, but he also sees the power of faith and what it is doing, when in that book itself, a priest who truly believes that the Emperor is a god walks through a Nurgle-infested planet with no corruption whatsoever. So he doesn't like the Lectitio Divinitatis, but he tolerates it because he knows that the power of faith is super important to the people of this era. And he knows that eventually he will have to address the faith and just get it back on track so that it's not as corrupt. But he also knows that there are inquisitors, and he has brought them into his fold, that work with the specific ecclesiarchal members to keep them under control. So, yeah. Can I call Alexis a saint? Yes.
Damn it. Alright. Let's see. What if you ran the turns how Apocalypse runs?
I don't like Apocalypse's system. I do not like it. I hate Apocalypse. I hate what GW did to Apocalypse. They essentially wrote it out of the game, and no one plays Apocalypse. Like, look for an Apocalypse battle report that isn't an actual 40k game. Because nobody wants to play that style of Apocalypse. It's a whole new rule system instead of just a bigger version of your game. And it's really bad. I'm sorry, I am going to vent about that because I hated what they did, and that's why GW doesn't really talk about it. That's my guessing.
Alright, so going through these, because if you got answered already, here we go. I would love to start an Eldar army, but god, they need to update the models. What incentive does GW need to fill out the Xenos catalog?
They need people to have an interest in them. The Xenos armies are, like, how to put this? The ones that have plastic models are the popular ones. The most popular Genestealer army, wow. I just answered that in the actual question itself when I was trying to give an answer. The most popular one is the Tyranids. They've always been the popular Xenos faction. Eldar are up there, but to be honest, they need to redo the entirety of the Eldari, which they're getting to. They are getting to them. But right now, what you could do is you could actually just buy the Howling Banshees and the Dire Avengers, and then just buy some bits off of Shapeways and make the guys yourself. Like, Fire Dragons are literally Dire Avengers plus Melt-A-Gun. Just saying. Quick conversions can save you a lot of money.
Alright, let's see. Why did they stop using pewter? Is it really toxic?
I think so. I think it is toxic. I know the fumes of it are toxic. But the reason they stopped using pewter is because their process for making pewter models kind of sucked. It was old. It was broken. So a lot of people don't know this. When you actually have a company that is making models, those molds can only be used so many times before they break. And instead of just remaking the metal ones, they just switched to doing resin and plastic because it's cheaper and easier to do.
Frickin' win the game by killing your opponent with fumes.
I mean, you could just put a Carnifex in a sock and beat your opponent's head in.
That poor Carnifex.
Oh no, the Carnifex will be perfectly fine.
Okay.
It's literally a chunk of metal. Or you could do it with a Dreadnought.
God damn it. Alright.
Kill him.
Alright, one person asked, why is nobody talking about the Octarius War? Because nothing's happening with it.
Yeah.
And for anyone that doesn't know, it's that three-way going on between orks, High Fleet, Leviathan, and a bunch of Khorne dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Here's a silly question. Is soy ruining 40k?
No.
Right.
I don't get how a dietary supplement can be ruining a game.
You never
In
know.
fact, I think it would be the opposite. Toxic masculinity is what ruins this game.
You're right. Let's see. Alexis, have you ever played any of the Metal Gear Solid games?
Yes, I actually have. My favorite being Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I remember playing that game as a kid, and I remember that ladder scene, and I loved it so much.
Let's see. One person says, nice talk, Alexis. Did you cover things about Tank Shop?
I think Tank Shock should be a stratagem that's just given to every single army that has a tank. And it should just be just you move, you do base contact, and it's just one mortal wound. That's it. Or, you know what? We'll be flavorful. D3 mortal wounds.
It's funny to think, like, you know, Inceptors charge into something, they can do mortal wounds. You get charged by a tank, nothing.
Yeah, no.
All right. Let's see. Alexis, you ever watch Snipe and Wib?
I do watch Snipe and Wib every now and then. They do pretty interesting content, and they're fairly entertaining.
All right. Oh, we got a super chat. I'm
That's
starting
okay.
in.
Oh wait, just real quick. I also like their relationship. You can just definitely tell that they love each other, and I think it's just really cute. I would personally like to see them move away from 40K though and do actual like skits, because I think that they could get a wider audience doing skits than they could just being 40K YouTubers.
I can agree to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. The super chat. I'm starting Imperial Fist. I got Dark Imperium box set, a Razorback with twin assault cannons, and a Dreadnought with twin las. What should I get next?
Intercessors. Lots and lots of intercessors. And then you want to get aggressors with the Boltstorm gauntlets. Have fun shooting bolters at people. Hurricane bolters are fun.
Do you think the psychic phase would work if each army was limited to 1 or 2 powers per turn?
No, because that would take away from psychically powerful armies.
Yeah,
Typically, psychically powerful armies don't have good, are lacking in something else. Like Thousand Suns, for instance, are lacking in close combat.
Let's see. What do you think about the Emperor manifestation in the Sister of Battle Psychic Awakenings?
Oh, I actually like that. But in the Codex, they tell you the what happens at the end of that book. And it's literally that everybody gets taken aboard the black ships or killed.
Always fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you know anyone who cosplays as Saint Celestine? Who was your favorite Battle Sister cosplayer?
I don't know them by name, but there's that one chick that does the Battle Sister that looks really cool, and she has a flamethrower. I think she's really good, but I don't know them by name. I follow a bunch of them. But yeah, again, I don't know names.
All right, let's see. Wait, have the Steel Legion been squatted? At the moment, right?
Yeah, at the moment they're gone.
Let's see. Oh, super chat. What is your opinion on Warhammer 40k being more child-friendly?
I think it's fine. 40K has always been and will always be a grim dark, which is their fancy way of saying sometimes it's really dark, other times there's yellow banana warriors that are walking around being praised as angels.
Yeah, 'cause, like, one nice little thing you can do with books is that you can have like really graphic and terrible things happen, but word them in a way that's easy, like PG or even G.
Yeah, like
this.
for instance, Dead Space. Dead Space is a dark setting. 40K is not a dark setting. It is a almost dark setting. It's PG-13. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing this, but the most aggressive things GW strays away from now. They don't talk about how demonettes actually would act when seeing a person in fear of them. They don't talk about what a coronate demon would do in a maternity ward. They don't talk about certain things like that and describe it in detail, except when it's Ben Counter talking about Sisters of Battle, because that dude has problems. But the most graphic books that they have currently in the current edition, take a wild guess, it's from Ben Counter, is about Genestealer cult kidnapping and doing things to people. And he describes it very, 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 very in-depth when it comes to the women. And it's, yeah, there's a reason why we have a thing for our lore series where we call it the Ben Counter. And we talk about all of the ridiculous things that happen involving women getting murdered in the lore.
All right, let's see.
Also, 40K can make child books. It's really easy, really simple, and it would fit within the series. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they don't want to hear that their story is about selling toys to toddlers. But it kind of is. Like, it is. The concept of a space marine is silly. The concept that a space marine is seen as an angel is silly. The whole thing is lifted from Dune anyway. So, what's there to really complain about?
Yeah. All right, let's see. How is Warhammer Fantasy connected to 40k?
It isn't.
No? Yeah, like... Because, like, even stuff that is in both settings is different. Like, take that one, Demon, I don't know how you pronounce his name. That's like... No, not Be'lakor. I'm going for a Nikari, Nkari, whatever. It's N... apostrophe Kari. It's a Slanesh demon. In fantasy, it's a keeper of secrets, but in 40k, it's a demon prince.
Mm-hmm. Also, just look at like Shalaxi. In both have different lore. It's just a way that GW can sell the same model for both games. Mm-hmm. Like, the universes are very much separate. Even in older lore, like, there's joke stories where Kaldor Drago darts into fantasy and then kills a bunch of Nurgle demons and goes, haha, and disappears. But aside from that, they're just nods. They're just jokes. The writers put a lot of references to pop culture in their books by themselves, and put references to other things in their books. Like when Gav Thorpe decided to bring in gender politics into Titanicus for no reason. But I'm not going to get into that.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. First is just a few lines of people thanking you for answering their questions.
No problem.
Then it's a few lines of people singing the Snake Eater theme. Hold up. It skipped to the bottom for some... Oh, we got a super chat from Rockstar. I have no problems with child-friendly in 40k. Even the Bible has a children's version that removes the really mature stuff.
Exactly. That's it.
Let's see.
And again, everybody brings up the well, how do you explain Slanesh to kids? Easy. Slanesh is about art and pride. What about the Dark Eldar? They torture people. They capture people.
Yeah. I mean, that you can just say the word torture and leave it at that.
Yeah. No, it's really simple.
Like, you just do what they do in, like, the book Fulgrim. You just say a thing is happening, but then you just leave the rest up to your imagination without describing it.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. Even then, nowadays, kids' books, like, was it the one where everyone's in the arena? Hunger Games. That book, if I remember correctly, had some pretty brutal, like...
deaths, yes.
It gets crazy.
Let's see. I'm just concerned for Warhammer 40k losing its individuality. It never had any. It's ripped off of Dune.
It's stolen. Everything is stolen.
Like, literally, 40k took from every bit of pop culture, sci-fi, and just sprinkled on a little bit of grimdark and changed it a little bit. The Ornithopters are literally straight from Dune. The Primarch, the Emperor, straight from Dune. The Star Children, straight from Dune. There's so much taken from Dune, it's not even funny. Like, GW should just buy Dune at this point.
Oh, and let's see. Kiva asked, do we still have the wholesome Slanesh married couple in 40k with the same look? Okay, so they've been mentioned as being in it, but I haven't seen any 40k lore for them, so I'm just assuming it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Alexis, what if we send every Black Templar and Death Corps of Kriegsmen in the warp? Would chaos be gone forever, or would it fuel them?
They'd probably just die.
Yeah, like...
The Death Corps of Krieg are not good soldiers, and the Black Templar, without allies, are useless.
Mm-hmm. It would just be free real estate.
Yeah. The art straight from heavy metal magazines, yep. Mm-hmm. It is. No, but it's funny, though. Like... I get it. A lot of fans of 40k like to see it as way darker than it actually is. But really, it's as dark as Star Wars.
Let's see. You've inspired some people to look at Dune. Good job.
Yeah, no, Dune is a really good book. Like, you can see evidence of Tolkien's work with the Eldar. You can see evidence of the Cthulhu mythos and tyranids. You can see evidence of the alien with the tyranids. You can literally see every single... right now, the action heroes are in the Imperial Guard. Wait, Sisters of Battle are the...
I don't know that. Let's see. One person asked for Imperial Fist. Should I use Stalker Bolters or something else?
Stalker Bolters are good, but you want to use... You can use a squad of Stalker Bolters and a squad of, like... the Auto Bolt Rifle is pretty good.
Yeah, for them dice exploding.
Stalker Bolters are going to be really good turn 1, and you want a full squad of them.
Let's see. Have you read or listened to any of the Wheel of Time books?
I have one of the Carnival of Time books in my room. It's a different series, but it's based off of that.
Let's see. Can a really strong pariah enter the Eye of Terror? Well,
Literally anybody can.
Yeah, like nothing stops you.
Yeah.
Even orcs.
People who've entered Eye of Terror in most recent history is Greyfax, the Grey Knights, the Dark Angels, the Space Wolves, the, let's see, Yvraine, Ephriel Stern, her half-elf with her. Yeah, this has been a lot of people. This is making me have to go to the bathroom. This sucks.
Yeah. Endurance.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Oh. Super chat. Eldar are actually... Oh, it's from Rockstar. Eldar are actually from an anime called God Sigma, which is about humanity fighting space elves called the Eldar.
You know, I wanna actually... Knowing Rockstar, that's probably kind of true. Or he's being a total weeb.
Or you're both right, because they probably got, the whole Eldar thing from Tolkien, because in Tolkien, lots of elves get called the Eldar.
Yeah.
Let's see. At NornQueenAlexis, do you have a Streamlabs super chat? Doesn't work for me.
I do. I don't... Hang on.
Let's see. Oh,
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Here's a topical one. Do you think it's a good time to get into 40k or a bad time before 9th edition?
Just get into it now.
Yeah, like, hop into it now. 9th isn't going to be for quite a while.
Yeah.
Forever.
Like the only obstruction for getting into it now is, outright.
Yeah. Yeah, no. There's no reason not to. How do I find the... Not that. Would it be this? Okay, so what about... I remember how this works, kind of. Wait, it's on my Twitch. I know this. 1 second. I got this. I am a professional, and I do professional things. Boop. Yeah, I gotta remember that I have this. There we go. Yeah. I did it. I forgot about that.
Oh, here's one from Cypher. Oh, I know how the Yannari Imperium Alliance is a meme, but is it a possibility, like down the line, Human Dire Avengers or Eldar Astra Militarum?
Probably not, but there is an actual alliance between the Imperium and the Yannari right now. It's more of like a stand-down order, like they don't just kill each other, but they will engage in... They will fight each other because it's a 40k setting, so they do fight each other. But they will work together to beat the greater adversary, which is chaos.
Yeah, like on Vigilus, the Eldar attacked the Imperial people, and then they, helped him drive off Abaddon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh. When will Nagash and Sigmar come back to 40k?
Yo, can we get some Fs in chat for my boy Sigmar? Nah, screw Sigmar. Let's get it for what is the dude that we're fighting? Sirac.
Yeah.
Sirac. Nagash.
Yeah, Sigmar watched Cadia fall and did nothing.
To be fair, that looks like a really comfy chair.
It does look like a really comfy chair. Speaking of comfy chairs, this one is not a comfy chair. I need like a small pillow, like memory foam, to just like put on this chair, and then it'll be super comfy.
Yep, like
Anime versus 40k. Anime wins.
lots of Fs in chat.
What are the two... Somebody actually looked it up. What are the two good Star Wars movies again? Yeah,
The two good ones.
That's a joke. Literally, it's the two good ones. There are no good Star Wars movies.
Because everyone has their own.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're really good, for anime and everything.
Here is an important question. Which Primarch is the best at hockey?
Which one would I pick as the best at hockey? Gilliman wouldn't be good at it. Fulgrim would be... Fulgrim wouldn't do it. Nah, it's too violent a sport. Probably Angron. I would give it to Angron.
I was gonna think the Khan.
No, see, you would think the Khan, but Angron would just slam him up against the side.
That's a pretty one. Let's see, Zypher's claiming Dorn. We got people claiming Korax.
It's, proof for you are now a demonette. Which... Look, if I'm a demonette, I wouldn't be a demonette first off. I'd be a demon prince. Well, princess in my case.
Let's see. Morven Lilith asks, who is your favorite Primarch?
Fulgrim. Followed very closely by Lionel Johnson as the two best written Primarchs.
One comment says, I just thought that a strong enough pariah can't even interact with the Immaterium in any shape or form.
No, I think what they are referring to as a pariah, they're thinking of blank. Because a pariah is used for multiple different things. It's a human that lost their humanity and got coated in living metal via 3rd edition Necron lore. Or they're one of the people who are soulless. Or they're another thing that GW just calls a pariah.
Like, just gonna say, Sisters of Silence War in the Webway noises.
Yeah. Where the Sisters of Silence are literally fighting a demonic invasion.
Let's see.
Fulgrim Heresy. Kidding, that's cool. No, Fulgrim just has the best written lore. Sorry, he does. All right.
Read his book, The Good One by Graham McNeil.
I will be right back in 2 seconds. So, you two, keep them entertained. And by that I mean just you, White.
Let's see. Speaking of the Lion, think they will wake him up at 40k since he's coming to 30k. Now, I wouldn't think that, being a cause because he's coming into 30k. Though I would think they bring him into 40k because he's really popular. And, we'd have a Primarch for, each of the Space Marines that have a codex. Like Sanguinius for the Blood Angels, Lion for the Dark Angels, yada yada. But, now, if you're, implying, they bring out his model for 30k, make it so it can be used in 40k with, 40k rules, well, Gilliman has both a 30k model and a 40k model, so... But 30k and 40k, they're really just separate from each other. Let's see, Russ would be a brutal hockey player. You're right, Kiba. I imagine, if the Primarchs were playing hockey, most of them probably wouldn't bother, but the few, let's say, Angron and Russ would start playing it and, get really into it, and then the others, just out of pride, would hop in and try and be, outdo each other. Except for maybe Gilman and Magnus off to the side.
Anyway, I'm back.
Yeah,
All right, so what do we got for comments?
There's people... here's a question that I talked about, but maybe you can weigh in. Speaking of the Lion, think they will wake him up in 40k since he's coming to 30k?
Yeah, more than likely. They're going to wait a few months. Let the Lion sell out on Forge World first.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Does Angron still have a bromance with Lorgar and the sourced Horus Heresy book Betrayer?
Probably not, since he's the incarnation of rage and hatred.
Yeah.
Probably not too tactical anymore either.
Does anyone know that 40k is based on the Bible? Sometimes we have angels fighting demons.
Yeah, they're literally Belial, Azrael, Asmodai, Be'lakor, let's see, Ezekiel, Abaddon, Horus. Oh, there's a ton of names that just come directly from the Bible. Lazarus, every Dark Angel, every Blood Angel, for instance, all come from the Bible.
Flat out, what's his name? Rick Presley, whatever. The dude that wrote, all the old fluff or most of it. He flat out said that he based the conflict between the Imperium and Chaos, or at least the Horus Heresy, off of Paradise Lost.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes sense, though. Mm. I do wish that they would push more for the whole Gaelic mythology with the these Dark Angels, which they're doing right now, which I really like. That's why the Dark Angels actually have Celt markings on their armor and everything, which I really think is cool. It's a really nice touch to being Gaelic, because they're Gaelic knights versus like regular knights.
Let's see. Horus isn't from the Bible. Well, the name Horus at least shows up in the Bible as one of the infernal names. So
Yeah.
that's just how it gets looped in.
Yep. Horus is actually from the Bible. Oh yeah, and the concept of Horus is based off of let's just say dude from World War II and dude from World War I fused together.
Let's see. Oh, here's the good one. The Swarm Lord is my favorite thing from the Bible.
No, the Swarm Lord is supposed to be from like, Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Hey, that actually worked. Huh. Neat.
Let's
Okay,
see.
so I didn't actually get to see that really quickly. What would the Imperium do if a bunch of abhuman colonies were something? I didn't get a chance to read the full thing. I am so sorry.
Like, post it in the normal chat. We'll just try to spot it. Let's see. Is Sanguinius like Jesus?
No, Sanguinius is Saint Michael, so yes, he is. Because Saint Michael, depending on the edition of the Bible, is actually Jesus, because the two of them are supposed to be the perfect creation of God.
Let's
So
see.
in
Also,
a way, yes.
yeah. Remember, first edition lore isn't canon.
Ah!
Let's see. Also, Nurgle is Babylonian god. Yeah, like Nurgle's name of like the Babylonian god of war, I think.
Thought it was famine.
I can double check. I just remember, like, before I even got into Warhammer, I saw that name somewhere under that.
Yeah. Well, they also use the term Nergleth in the Bible. Or Niragleth, which is really close.
Let's see. I mean, it could just be, a god of multiple things, because, deities be like that.
Yeah. And you got to remember Christianity stole from literally every single pantheon that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Gosgul is the figure of Jesus. Yeah, I could see it. Let's see.
Okay, so let's see. Fire, war, the desert, and the underworld. Okay.
Yep, that's Nurgle. You know what I find really amusing? When people say that Nurgle is the god of renewal.
No, it's a cycle.
Yeah, but there really isn't that in 40k. Like, that actually states that.
Well, it spams in the Demon Codex a lot. Like, it doesn't quite say what the cycles are, but it'll be like, a great unclean one for a first cycle, in quotations, will be a part of this plague legion. The next cycle, they'll spend years counting stuff.
Yeah. But, like, when people say that Khorne is the god of honor, no, it isn't. There's nothing ever that states that.
Yeah, like,
but yeah, let's get back to the questions.
let's see. I think Gazgul is the figure of Jesus. That's correct. He died and came back to life.
Twice.
Let's see. Is 1,000 or 1,500 points common to play?
Yeah, it's pretty common. 2K is the most common, but 1,000-point game is really fun for a pickup game.
Oh, here's the Streamlab thing. What would the Imperium do if a bunch of abhumans colonized a world? Would they stop and kick them off?
No, so what they do is they actually kidnap them and force them into abhuman regiments, and they fight and die for the Imperium.
Hashtag free the Ogrins.
Yeah, like Ogrins own an entire world and they're an abhuman.
Yeah, like in Necromunda, the Ogrins are slave Ogrins.
Yeah. In Blackstone Fortress, the Ogrins run an illegal gang.
Yes, they do. Source for that is Motherlode.
Oh, Alexis, here's a very important question. Gork or Mort? Or is it Mork and Gork?
Look, so at first I would definitely tell you that Gork is the best, but then Mork came up into the back of my head and was all like, nah, you know the actual truth. But then Mork punched me in the face, so I was just like, I got really confused. So I'm going to have to say Or is the best.
My god. Let's see. What if Resident Evil got into 40k where Nurgle loved this stuff? Nurgle already creates zombies.
Yeah, he would love it. He would definitely love it. Nurgle is still currently blessing the planet. Thanks.
Like, look, just get a bunch of poxwalkers. Get that one Palatine Enforcer model that has the flashlight and the pistol.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, do you think they will fix up Terminators? Would like to field my Deathwing more, but just doesn't seem like it would be a good game.
So, Deathwing, and I conveniently have the book right here that makes Deathwing incredible, because they got a stratagem in here that makes them toughness 5. And at toughness 5, they're amazing and totally worth taking. Where is it? Herald of the Chapter. They also get another ability that says that they can't be hurt on one transhuman physiology, which is also really good. So Deathwing is actually worth taking Terminators right now. They're still better as shootinators, but I would always keep one shield in the squad. So yeah.
Let's see. Alexis, are you hyped for the Warhammer shows coming in the future?
No, not really.
Let's see. Do you stream any?
Oh. I will explain this. It's mostly because everything that is being filmed currently is put on hold for over a year. So they're probably going to be pushed back by a year or two. So, no, I don't really have hype because I don't think it's going to come out for quite a while.
Let's see. Do you stream any game that's not related to 40k? If so, do we have hope of seeing something like Doom Eternal or Pathologic 2?
I am not a fan of playing Doom Eternal. Yeah, nah. But I do play a lot of games on there. I play Overwatch on there quite a bit. I play Planet Coaster. I play Jurassic Park not Operation Genesis, Jurassic World.
You want to play Operation Genesis?
I do. Operation Genesis is such a good game. But I do play a lot of different games on there. I'm going to start playing Tom Clancy's Wildlands soon with Cypher.
You're going to fight the Predator.
So I do play other games. It's really... And I also play horror games on there every now and then. But I have to play horror games very rarely because my landlord yelled at me.
Ha.
Because I scream and cry very loudly.
Let's see. Rockstar says he wants to make a Nurgle demon army and paint them all in the color scheme of Winnie the Pooh.
I get it. That's terrible and I love it. Please do it.
Let's see. What game company would make a good 40k game? Say Capcom if you're not looking for strategy.
Sega makes a really good game. The Total War series is extremely good. Mm-hmm. But for 40k, I would actually say THQ made one of the best. They had liquidated, but their company is still there. So if they ever got the 40k license again and did have the budget, they could make a sequel to Space Marine, which I know everybody would like. But what company do I think would be good? Probably like Naughty Dog, even though they're garbage right now. And Last of Us 2 is one of the biggest disappointments that I've ever heard of. And I'm really annoyed about that because I had money put aside to buy a PS4 in order to get Last of Us 2. And I'm really pissed about it, especially what they did with the story and how they treated their employees. I'm not getting into that.
Yeah.
But I do think that they could probably make a good game. NetherRealm Studio could probably make a really good game. The women would look like... Never mind, I'm not getting into that. Actually, they would probably make the sisters look exactly like they do as the models. Sorry, I'll stop. Who's the dudes that did Dead Space?
I forget.
They would be good. But I think we can move on from that question.
Visceral games, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Let's see. Who is the best Adeptus Sororitas?
Oh, that is a close one. Oh, what do I think is the best Adeptus Sororitas? I really like Ethereal Stern, but I also really like Celestine, and I also really like Janeth, and I also like the chick from Oh, no, the chick from Mark of Faith is really cool, too. And Requiem Inferno. I can't pick. I like a lot of them.
But
Then-
Alexis Stern's a heretic.
I don't care. Stern is awesome.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. What's next?
Nothing. No questions after that.
Ever read The Spear of Macragge? No, I haven't. Wait, no, I did.
Knights of Macragge. Let's see. First half, the Lost in
Knights
the
of
Warp.
Macragge.
Second half, Cato Sicarius fights feral orcs on a feudal world, classic fantasy style.
Yeah, I actually did read that one. It was okay, but I really can't stand Canto Sicarius as a character. He's just annoying.
Let's see. Another question. Alexis, what do you think of Command and Conquer and Starship
Yes.
Troopers?
Okay, Command & Conquer is one of my favorite games ever growing up. Red Alert 2 was my favorite Command & Conquer game ever. Starship Troopers I absolutely love. The 5 movies, I would have to say that the first one was the best. And probably the 4th one was really good too. I liked the 3rd one because it was just tyranids. Because the creator of the Starship Troopers live action movies didn't actually know Starship Troopers. They based it off of 40K. So 40K stole from Starship Troopers and then made the movies based off of the story, but the director didn't know what they were, so they based it off of tyranids.
Funny because like literally what was like Paul Verhoeven started to read Starship Troopers, and after like the first chapter he said, I don't like this, I'm just gonna make my own movie.
Yeah.
I think it was a good movie.
It was. Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Light wants to know more intensifies.
Look,
Yeah.
I find the idea that bugs can think offensive.
Well, I find the idea of Eldar being cultured offensive.
Or like dumb thing that like that Starship Troopers strategy game incoming. Whenever I see news for all the comments or people hoping that in the tutorial it keeps asking if you want to know more.
Right?
Another question: what is your favorite pizza topping?
My favorite pizza topping? Probably Parmesan chicken.
Right.
People are going to be so confused by that. They're going to be like, what?
She's a New Yorker, everyone. They commit pizza crime.
No,
for the
we
greater
don't.
good.
We do
For
it
the
right.
greater good of mankind.
We're the ones that took pizza and made it the best thing in the world. Shoot your face.
Yeah. Alexis, I gotta run off. I had something scheduled and this stream kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. In fact, I think I'm
Alright.
going to wrap up this stream very soon anyway.
Okay, so have fun.
Later, bye.
Thanks
Take care.
Thanks for having me on. Y'all are butts. Wow.
See what I got to deal with? All right, so what if Gears of War got into 40K? Nothing would change. Let's see. Starship Troopers is just literally the Imperial Guard versus Tyranids. Actually, it's more like the Imperial Guard versus Megarachnid. So there you go. There's a reference for you. Alexis, so what are your top 5 gods of 40K? Okay, so my top 5 gods, 40K. All right, at number 5, we have Malice, or Mala, or Malal, the Chaos God of Chaos, who actually manifested himself into reality and then was destroyed by Admiral Spire of Battlefleet Gothic. I really liked him. Thought he was really cool, and I love the Chaos God of Chaos. Number 4, I would have to give it to, and I'm just going to say that this is just gods overall. But number 4, let's see. Probably Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch. Yeah. Number 3 would be... I gotta go with my boy, the Blood God. Blood for the Blood God. We gotta go with Khorne. He's not nutritious, but my god is he delicious. And then...
Jeez.
Number 5, or number 1, the best is the Emperor of Mankind, because... Yeah.
What about Nuffle?
Get his Nuffle out of here.
God of dice and nonsense.
Will we get Stern versus Mariel or Celestine? No. More than likely, Stern is just going to be pardoned by the Inquisition and just work with the sisters. I'm really hoping Ethereal Stern has both keywords for Eldar and Imperium. To be fair, Starship Troopers books wasn't that great. It basically was just a long ass lecture. I like the Starship Troopers books. I thought they were pretty good. Alexis, I love the Star Wars and Halo and any sci-fi franchise. No offense. No, love what you love. Like, I like the Star Trek series. I like Star Wars mythology. I don't like their movies. And I really, really, really like Starship Troopers, Firefly. I absolutely love Firefly. And there's quite a bit of other sci-fi stories that I really enjoy. F's in chat for Malice. Having been the single Chaos God summoned into the material realm only to be killed by a spaceship. What about the hive mind? I don't consider the hive mind a god. It's a biological creature. Kind of like I don't consider the Satan gods because they exist. They are a thing. So I don't consider them gods. Like, to the Necrons, they're gods, but the Necrons are a bunch of idiots. Do you think it's better to buy a codex paper copy or digital ebook? Buy the ebook, it automatically updates with the FAQs. Boom, done. Thank you. There you go. Boom. Solved your problems. So I'm going to continue this for another 4 minutes, try to get this up to 2 hours, and then I think I'm going to call it there.
Not a bad idea.
What is Firefly even about? Okay, all right. Think of the Wild West, but in space. It's that, and it's amazing. Like, if they just if GW bought the rights to Firefly and just said it was a rogue trader, nothing would change. It would be the best show ever. Best Star Trek captain. I didn't really... don't ask me that. I'm not gonna get into that. What if Marvel and DC got into 40K? Marvel actually does have a couple of crossovers with Warhammer 40K. They have a couple of nods at each other, but this is... Well, Marvel and DC are kind of doing really terrible right now. Their comics are doing really bad, and I don't want to get into that either. I've talked about that enough on my Discord, because, oh my god, it's really bad. I also need to eat. Huh. I forgot to eat breakfast today. It's 9:30 at night. I'm only now realizing that I'm hungry.
Oh, jeez.
The Necrons are a bunch of idiots, Alexis. Love it. It was a good animated series, Space Dandy. It's in the same universe as Cowboy Bebop, and that makes it good.
That theme song, though.
Yeah. All right. So. Closing thoughts. I like 8th edition. It's good. Just saying. It's an evolving edition. Stop spreading rumors about 9th edition. It's annoying, to be honest, because I have to tell everybody that it comes from YouTubers, and it gets really bad. Are sisters augmented in any way against their maternal cycles? Are they asexual like Marines? Marines aren't asexual. By the way, they're not. I think I'll answer this question really quickly. Marines just don't have humanity. Like, older Marines don't have humanity. They are only built for one purpose, and that is war. So they're pretty much just eunuchs. But Sisters of Battle can retire and have kids. But so can Sisters of Silence and Custodians. Custodians can retire. Have fun knowing that. Anyway, with that, I am going to go ahead and end this this sit-in chat. I want to thank everybody for donating, who donated. You guys are helping me out immensely, especially now that I cannot collect unemployment. I am out of work. And YouTube, Patreon, and all my supporters are the only things keeping me afloat right now. So I just want to thank each and every single one of you. You guys are awesome. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.